when you fall into what we call nominalism, we talked about before, this idea that there aren't really universals, there are just names that we kind of choose to apply to things in the world, that kind of in some way gives you the power to categorize your experiences, right? You get to kind of categorize what things are around you, and that can lead to a kind of view of yourself that's self-creative, right? And so especially when you're talking about human nature, which is really the core question that I've been asking, right, in these talks, is like, what is a human being? Which is so central to, well, us as human beings. And if there is no nature that's given, right, there's no universal, there's nothing within us that defines us, that means there's something that constrains us, really, right? Because nature is constraining, because nature has certain specific, properties. And that means that when we're defining a nature that's a universal, it's not this kind of elastic thing, right? You could just spread out as much as you want or whatever. So if your own nature is not given to you, that means there aren't really boundaries around it. And so you can start to redefine yourself, and you can do that through in a number of different ways. So you find this in like modern philosophy in a couple ways. One is the existentialist kind of route, which really looks within toward this idea of authenticity, which says that who you are is who you are in like the innermost part of yourself. And you need to just do what makes you feel like you. So there's this kind of inner self that you need to try really hard to discover. People use this language of like, I need to find myself, as if there's some inner you totally separate from everything else around you. You just need to find it. If only you find your true feelings, your true self, you're going to be happy, right? So that's one view. But the other would be that, and this happens in a lot of more socially focused philosophies, they're going to say, well, who you are is your social relations, like who you are in society, how you relate to other people. And some of this, you're defined by the language that you use or the rituals that you do. And what that means is, if man is just a social being, what that means is if society chooses to change itself, it can actually change humanity. And so, yeah, I think this is really essential to everything, right? That question of who am I? I think it causes an immense amount of, I don't know, stress, anxiety, to think that like I have to find some inner me to really be happy. And I think when people do that and they just look more and more and more within, they don't actually find happiness.
Yeah.
I think they find something very different.